This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. It's a freaking Tuesday. Weeds are needed. Weeds are needed because Justin, it's been one of those days where Justin really hasn't looked up. Just realized a few minutes ago, like, oh shit, we gotta do a stream. Hey, fuck you, Clinically. Fuck you, pal. Fuck you. I love you, buddy. Why are you coming in here and telling me fuck you? What the hell? But I mean, like, I'm constantly telling my best friend, like, hey, buddy, go fuck yourself. Go fuck you. Fuck you. Like, I'll answer when he calls, and I'll be like, fuck you. I made a gif of me flipping him off. Thank you. Warlord, good evening. DJ Dub, good evening. I love all of you so much. I know the fuck yous are a sign of endearment. I don't even know what those fucking gifts are, or those emotes you're using in the chat. I need weed. I think I packed this one. It wasn't like full, it's only like half a bowl. I think I packed it around 4 o'clock, and I never smoked it. I think I was like, well, I'll get up and get something to eat. I went and ate. Oh, you want me to fuck off? Okay, well, I mean, toodaloo. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. Go find out what that news be doing from somebody else, eh? I love you guys. I had a podcast and he did it. And the camera for the host is like bouncing the entire time. So I'm like, God damn, I gotta stabilize this shit. It's taking me forever. Because I mean, the program itself just takes forever to do that. So I tried to just do the whole clip all at once, and it was gonna take 4 hours. I'm like, So I had to chop it up. Sparkles, good evening. That news has always be doing too much. That's exactly right. It's doing too much tonight. We got too much Ukrainian news. Holy shit. Did you know they fired their defense minister? Did you know they arrested a dude that ran a TV station in Ukraine? Did you know they've been assassinating people? Do you know a fucking Russian almost got bombed by like some kind of fucking Apple Watch that Ukraine had planted? We got all kinds of Ukraine news tonight. Apparently, flights have been grounded by United. It's always weird when United grounds flights in September. I'm old enough to remember. Never forget. So United grounding their flights in September, always kind of weird to me. I mean, clinically, that's been my assessment from the beginning. Warlord, it's more like I keep asking you, do you even watch the show anymore? You keep posting shit in the chat, and it's like, we talked about that last night. We talked about that. I love that I asked you to give me an assessment of what is going on with the Labor Party, and you're just like, you're kicking people out. I'm like, well, thank you. This is so in-depth. Here's your meme of the day. You're laughing. Influencers at Burning Man are unable to fulfill their sponsored content agreements, and you're laughing. What's crazy about Burning Man to me is apparently you remember our ginger bearded motherfucker that sang about poor people on fudge or eating fudge rounds. Apparently he was he was at Burning Man. Apparently he was supposed to go on the Midwest Marxist podcast. Remember, this is where it's coming from. The host of the Midwest Marxist podcast. I've never listened to him. I'm more of a Trillbilly kind of guy myself. The Midwest Marxist podcast said Oliver Anthony was supposed to be on their podcast, but got stuck at Burning Man. Now, Oliver Anthony was singing songs about the rich men north of Richmond and how he was pissed off at the elites. Do I need to tell you guys what kind of people are actually at the Burning Man? Apparently, they left a huge fucking mess in the desert because of course they did. Of course they did. It's a lot of crime news tonight. If you're into the true crime, this is the episode for you. There's a manhunt going on in Pennsylvania. Ooh, here's one. I can't wait to get to this story. Do you remember the police commissioner in Philadelphia? Her name was Outlaw, Commissioner Outlaw. The police commissioner in Philadelphia's last name was Outlaw. Well, was, because she ain't the police commissioner anymore. She resigned after 3 turbulent years. We're going to get the lowdown on that. But her name was Outlaw. The police commissioner's name was Outlaw. I don't think for a second that I wasn't looking through Ukraine stories and I saw one that was like retired general gives his opinion on whatever the fuck. I was like, well, was it General Breedlove? Because I haven't heard from General Breedlove in a little while, and I want to hear from General Breedlove because he told us all about penetrating hard and deep. I had several like boomer motherfuckers come to that video I did of Breedlove and be like, I don't know what your problem is. This man deserves respect. I'm just making fun of the motherfucker for having the name Breedlove, that's all. I'm stuck on that name. Kind of like I'm stuck on Outlaw in Philadelphia was the police commissioner. George Santos apparently is having his prosecution halted at the moment. There is discussion about how they're going to proceed. I don't know what's going on there. Appeals court has limited access to Scott Perry's phone records in the January 6th. That's Representative Scott Perry in the January 6th investigation. Apparently Jack Smith looking for access to Perry's phone. The court has limited access now. Speaking of January 6th, Enrique Tarrio. You want me to go ahead and tell you, like, it's a lot. He got a lot of years. Court challenges to congressional district maps in Georgia. Meanwhile, in the next state over, a judge has rejected a congressional map from Alabama. Going to draw their own. The Attorney General of Texas, a man who I've bitched about at least once a month since this show has been on. More when we have Texas-centric stories. The man was indicted 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Has been serving as the Attorney General of the state of Texas. Got wild video of a suspected murderer who ran through a shopping mart, shopping center, grocery store. I don't fucking know. We'll find out. Apparently the video is insane. The kind of shit I like to watch on this show. Manhunt continues in Pennsylvania for an escaped convict. I think he's an escaped convict. I don't even fucking know. I checked out over the weekend. I don't know what's going on with the news. We'll find out together. I've got this video. I think it happened a couple of years ago, but I just happened to see it when I was doing my searches. A woman got arrested and she pooped herself. We're going to watch it because, of course we are. If I see a video like that, I'm like, yeah. I saved it to watch on stream. I didn't just watch it myself. Speaking of pooping himself, Dave Portnoy apparently got into a fight with a restaurant owner, so I really just found out who the dude was the other day. And he keeps causing shit, so free Paxton, fuck you, Warlord. I mean that with all love and due respect. Tones, good evening, Tones. Libertad, how are you people? Poop. Yeah. Libertad, heard poop. Came in on that one. All that and more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. Good evening. Welcome.
This is Justin to CNN United.
Once again, something funky's going on with the airplanes. Oh shit! I didn't even realize I had the watch screen up. I thought I was on I thought I was on this screen. I didn't know you guys were seeing what I was doing. Oh well. I'm not high enough for this shit. I thought I ran a professional show over here. I had a dream last night that the show had gotten picked up, and we're doing like a dress rehearsal in the studio, and one of my ex-coworkers came in and it was like, nobody's gonna watch this shit. Motherfucker, is it clinically? Oh, I changed it everywhere else. I probably didn't change it on fucking Kick. As I said, I've been busy today. I'm sorry. I wish I could just concentrate on doing the show. That would be nice. It's not your guys' fault. You guys doing all you can to support me. Everybody else that like doesn't even know I exist yet. That's the problem. We're doing a dandy of a show over here. I don't think I can change it while I'm on. Well, that sucks. Well, that's something they didn't change, or they didn't copy from Twitch. Nope. Oh, there we go. We got it. Was you in what, Warlord? Oh, in my dream? No. I don't have dreams about you, no. I've had a nightmare about your fucking cheesy potatoes with beans on them. United. Bean eater sounds really fucking racist. I feel like at once upon a time people called Mexicans bean eaters over here in this country, like back in the 90s. Well, it ain't racist again. We can't be racist against British people. It ain't racist against you. Oh, well, were you here, Warlord, last night? We were doing a story, something about the Pacific Northwest. It's checkmate Whitey, indeed. But it was like a native name of a town, but it was a funny sounding name. So like I'm like making fun of it. And like it's kind of racist. Me making fun of this like native sounding town. Yeah, you weren't here to clip it and put it in the Cancel Justin. It's about midway through the stream last night, though, if you want to go back and we were Seattle, I think. Seattle teachers were preparing to strike, possibly. I think that might have been the story. Chaka cow or some shit like that. I'm sorry. That's why I don't get more viewers. I'm just a horrible racist person. And what are you gonna do about it? United Airlines grounded a bunch of flights today. I believe they had some kind of equipment failure, equipment outage.
This is Justin to CNN. United Airlines is delaying all flights nationwide now due to what it calls an equipment outage. That is according to an alert from the Federal Aviation Administration. Our Pete Montine joins us now. Equipment outage. I know we don't have a lot of details now, but what would fall under that umbrella?
You know, this would have to be some sort of fixed infrastructure used.
Broke plane, yeah.
Not an FAA outage. Right. This is a United issue. So far, though, the numbers are relatively low when it comes to cancellations and delays. We just checked FlightAware, about 7 United flights have been canceled nationwide, about 85 flights delayed. This is a ground stop that was requested by the airline, according to this FAA alert.
Okay, ground stop. The FAA is saying that's...
This was earlier in the day. Let's, instead of listening to this, let's go... We're going to get a aviation expert out of Chicago giving us their... And this was published just about an hour ago. Perhaps new details if the planes are back in the air. I don't even know.
United flights back in the air today after...
Well, thank you. That answered my question, didn't it?
A nationwide ground stop.
The airline is blaming a system-wide issue. Casey Cronus is live with how the stop impacted Chicago. Casey.
Don and Scott, this is affecting everything from passengers and crews to baggage and connecting flights. Here at O'Hare's Terminal 1, things are seemingly getting back to normal. United Airlines blaming the nationwide ground stop on a technology glitch. Flights that were already in the air continued flying, but on the ground, United asked the FAA to halt all of its planes. The FAA first reported the issue around 12:30, and the outage was resolved just before 1 p.m. While the airline hasn't yet confirmed what caused the malfunction, local aviation expert Joe Sweeterman says in this case, it doesn't appear to have been the result of a cyber attack or hack, rather was an internal flaw.
Early indications are that this was an internal glitch, an effort to update the system that went awry here. We had a 1-hour delay. United was able to limit the number of departure delays to a couple hundred flights. I think, though, the fact this was global really affects just the dynamics here. We have pilots that have hours limits. You have airplanes that need maintenance. And when the whole system gets pushed back like this, it really taxes the system.
The U.S. Department of Transportation is looking into the issue and encouraging passengers who were impacted to visit flightrights.gov. Reporting live from O'Hare, Casey Cronus, Fox 32, Chicago.
Flight rights. Flightrights.gov. Flightrights.gov. You have questions about your rights as a passenger on a commercial airline, apparently. The TSA has a website, Flight Rights, set up. Interesting. Speaking of rights, voting rights in southern states, they've been a big issue. Georgia facing challenges over their voting districts.
Trial is taking place over whether our state's voting district lines discriminate against minority voters. Our political maps were redrawn.
I bet they do.
In 2021, and experts believe the result benefited white voters as well as helped Republicans gain a congressional seat in Georgia's 6th district just north of Atlanta. The trial is expected to last 2 weeks. Now, if the judge rules against the state, he is expected to order Georgia's General Assembly to redraw districts in order to comply with federal law.
Well, we've seen what happens because Alabama was ordered to redraw their districts to comply with federal law, and you know what they did? They didn't. they didn't. But a judge just stepped in and said, those maps ain't gonna work for me, brother. We're gonna go to Way 31. I used to work for this TV station.
Well, we do start with some breaking news right now as a panel of 3 federal judges rejected Alabama's congressional district map and ordered a new map to be drawn by a special master. Well, now the order handed down just hours ago does not give state lawmakers a second chance at redrawing this map, saying, quote, based on the evidence before us, including testimony from the legislators, we have no reason to believe that allowing the legislature still another opportunity to draw yet another map will yield a map that includes an additional opportunity district. Now, Way 31's political analyst Dave Brazelton joins us in the studio.
What up, Dave?
To break all of this down for us. Dave.
Well, Demetria, the court's order calling it disturbing that the map legislature...
That's what I thought. That was Demetria. I worked with her when I worked there. I didn't want to say anything, so I was like, that sounds like her. It looks like her. But she had left and went to Philadelphia when I left the TV station, so apparently she came back.
Legislature came up with during the special session ignored directives to create a second opportunity district for black voters. Now, back in July, Alabama lawmakers passed the new map that maintained a single majority black district while boosting the percentage of black voters in another district from 30% to 40%. Today, the court said that was not good enough. The court said it will now use a special master to draw new districts for the state, and the state is expected to appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. Dave Brazelton, Way 31 News.
All right, thank you so much, Dave. And as you can imagine, lawmakers had a lot to say about this. Congressman Robert Aderholt tweeted,
"Fuck you,
we knew
Bob.
from the beginning this case would probably be decided by the U.S. Supreme Court, so we will just have to wait and see what
They're counting on the conservative court to uphold their stupid ass map.
In part, today's decision is another victory for black voters in Alabama and for the promise of fair representation."
Republicans are just brazen. They're fucking brazen in their fucking totalitarianism. But hey, we're getting ready to see several of them get their comeuppance and be held accountable for their crimes, at least. We've got multiple trials getting ready to start. One coming to a conclusion today with a Proud Boy getting sentenced to 22 years in prison.
Boys, the far-right group described by prosecutors as the chief instigators of the January 6th attack on the Capitol, watched their former leader go down today under the weight of a 22-year prison sentence, the longest sentence of any January 6th defendant so far. Enrique Tarrio, who the government accused of directing some of the actions of that day, was convicted of seditious conspiracy. Just before sentencing today, a contrite Tarrio apologized to law enforcement, lawmakers, and his family.
Apologized.
"I was my own worst enemy." His sentence follows the fate of 4 other Proud Boys members who also received harsh sentences last week, all accused of using violence to try and keep then-President Donald Trump in power. One of the charges, obstructing an official proceeding, has also been leveled against Mr. Trump in a separate indictment. He has pleaded not guilty. Let's get more now from Ken Delanian.
What are we here for? To stop the steal!
Tonight, a central figure in the attack on the U.S. Capitol has been handed the stiffest prison sentence so far. A judge ruled that Enrique Tarrio, one-time leader of the far-right Proud Boys, will spend 22 years behind bars. While not physically...
For the love of God, let's hope there's never another Republican president. I honestly can't believe I lived through the Bush administration and saw another Republican president. Yeah, it was a fluke, but goddamn.
Present during the January 6th riot, he directed others and celebrated afterward, saying in a text message, "Make no mistake, we did this." Prosecutors had sought 33 years for Tarrio, but Judge Timothy Kelly decided that was too long. Kelly also sentenced 4 other Proud Boys last week to lengthy prison terms, but far less than prosecutors had asked for. Some of them seen here at the Capitol.
American citizens are storming the Capitol, taking it back right now. There's millions of people out here. This is crazy. This is such history.
Tarrio and other Proud Boys were convicted
it
of
is.
vicious conspiracy. Prosecutors said their goal was to orchestrate violence.
Honestly, they 100% incriminated themselves. They gave prosecutors all the evidence they need. These are the dumbest fucks walking the planet. The reason why their putsch didn't work is because they are the dumbest fucks walking the planet. That's the scary thing to me, is if some fucking smart people wanted to take over the government, how fucking easy it actually would be. We're just lucky that it was the dumbest fucks walking the planet trying to do it. Right-wingers are morons.
Violence to keep then-President Trump in office, and that the Proud Boys were behind every major breach of the Capitol during the attack. Afterwards on CNN, Tarrio ridiculed members of Congress who huddled in fear as rioters breached the building.
I'm not going to cry about a group of people that don't give a crap about their constituents.
But a different tone in court today, telling the judge, "I am not a political zealot," and saying to the men and women of law enforcement who answered the call that day, "I'm sorry."
Ken, this sentence is 4 years longer than the previous longest sentence for January 6th.
That's right, Lester, and there have been over 1,100 criminal cases so far. The judge called Tarrio's apology better than nothing, but he said he didn't believe Tarrio was remorseful for the crimes he was convicted of.
I don't believe Tarrio believes in anything. I don't think he's even, I don't believe that he was, I don't think he has convictions. I don't think he has principles. I don't think he's actually a right-winger. I've mentioned it before. I don't remember what the documentary was. It might have been the HBO In Search of QAnon documentary. But in one of them, they interview Tarrio, and he talks about how he has T-shirt businesses that are left-wing political shirts. He's got T-shirt businesses that are not political at all. It's just about finding a niche and filling it for him. Much like Roger Stone. I don't think Roger Stone believes the shit that he believes. Lee Atwater didn't actually believe in right-wing politics. They just had an opening to be somebody, and they took it. It's weird. I do this because I believe, and I don't know if I've ever told this story. So I had when I lived in Alabama, the right-wing radio host, the Sticks. Good afternoon. I had a friend who was, a friend at the TV station. He ran a show. He paid to have it on and then sold advertising on it. His own political talk show on a Sunday morning. Dustin, good evening. But I befriended him and everything, and I was riding in his car. We were going somewhere. I don't even remember where it was. But he mentioned to me that Rachel Maddow lost 30 pounds when she before she got on TV, and I was like, man, if I was getting ready to be on TV, I'd probably lose 20 or 30 pounds. Wouldn't you? What? I don't he was trying to make a point about her being fake or something to me. We're all just playing the game. And I'm like, no, I actually believe the things I say. When I argue with you, I believe what I say to you. That's the reason why I'm effective. And that's why I can't play right-winger. I can't go and sell out and act like a right-winger because I can't wrap my mind, or I'm able to argue positions in short bursts. You know, I could do it when I was taking classes on speech in college. You're fake because you work out clinically. He worked out. He might not have wanted to drop 20 or 30 pounds because he worked out, but I still felt like he's a little pudgy. He'd probably I would want to look my best if I'm gonna be on national TV. That's just I didn't understand his point. And we had another argument where I was like, you're everything you say is dependent on the fact of living in a meritocracy, and this isn't a meritocracy, pal. And you know it's not a meritocracy, because if this was a meritocracy, I'd be your boss. And he really didn't like that one. I have tried. He's got me blocked on everything now. Because I was like, dude, having a show where you argue with me is like money. You want to be something in this business, have a show with me and come at me. I want you to come for blood. I don't want you to take it easy on me. And I same thing with me. I'm coming with a dagger to the gullet, and that it'll make us money. And no, he don't want to do it because they're bitches. The right wing are bitches. It's the only way I can put it. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. There's so much news be doing newsy shit. Let's go back to January 6th bullshit. Mark Meadows. I guess this was pre-January 6th. Mark Meadows pled not guilty today in his Georgia election case.
Meadows pleading not guilty to charges of conspiring to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia. Donald Trump's former chief of staff also waiving his right for an in-person arraignment originally set for tomorrow. It comes as John Eastman pleaded not guilty. He's the attorney alleged to have devised the whole legal strategy behind Trump's attempts to overturn the election. 18 of the 19 defendants in the case have now entered pleas. Fulton County officials still waiting on.
Yeah, I was really hoping that we would get Trump in the courtroom. Several others. But no, apparently not. Oh my God. Her mugshot. That's wild.
And former county election supervisor Misty Hampton. ABC News investigative reporter Olivia Rubin joining.
I forget her name.
Olivia, a number of
It
developments.
was Kanye's personal
Meadows
assistant.
pleading not guilty.
Yeah, Kira, a number of filings hitting the docket this morning from over the weekend. And like you said, the big one is
Trevion or some shit.
Not guilty plea along with a number of other defendants. And really what that means is that they no longer have to go back down to Georgia yet again to appear before the judge and enter their plea, kind of handling that in some paperwork. But Kira, I would say that the big ruling that we're still waiting for, the big filing we're waiting for as it relates to Mark Meadows, is from that federal judge who still has not yet ruled.
He looks so creepy.
Request to move his case to federal court. Remember, that's why we saw Meadows in court last week. He testified for hours, essentially saying everything I did here, which I now plead not guilty to, was part of my official work as the chief of staff to former President Donald Trump, and therefore this should go to federal court. Of course, Fulton County DA Fani Willis has opposed that. So that is the big ruling that we're waiting for as it relates to Mark Meadows. This sort of a procedural, not guilty. We knew it was coming, but that is what we're still waiting for today.
And Trump's former attorney John Eastman pleading not guilty. Was that a surprise?
I don't think really any of the not guilty pleas here were a surprise here, Kira. I think what we have seen publicly from multiple of the defendants already since this indictment hit was that they are defiant. They are still claiming that essentially everything they did was legal. John Eastman even has, his attorney has spoken publicly saying what he did was legal. So not a surprise because we really
love it. Do it. That ain't gonna fly with a judge.
Defendants say what they did was legal. We saw it from Rudy Giuliani when he spoke outside of the Fulton County Jail. So really these pleas, and like you said, now we have 18 out of 19 fall in line with what we're hearing from the defendants publicly in their court filings, is that what they did here was legal, and that this overarching conspiracy that the Fulton County DA has pulled together was not illegal.
What a group of chuckle fucks.
County officials still waiting on the last defendant, Misty Hampton. What's going on there? What do we know?
Misty Hampton, Kira, essentially the last one who has not entered a plea into this case, and really could be the only one that we see standing up.
I don't think so, Libertad.
Tomorrow for this arraignment. Remember, the judge in the case had set
I might be wrong.
the day for every single defendant to come in 15-minute intervals and plead not guilty or guilty to the charges against them, but to enter in their plea. And so now Misty Hampton is really the only one that we haven't seen this from. So it's possible that we could see her in court tomorrow if we don't get a filing from her at some point in the docket today. And, I can tell you, just before coming on with you, I checked Misty Hampton's docket, and still no guilty plea, and honestly very little court activity from her whatsoever. So tomorrow we could have our one and only
I'd check Misty Hampton's docket.
defendants standing up in a Fulton County courtroom yet again.
So then, big picture, where does the case stand right now, and what should we be looking to next?
Well, big picture, Kira, I think is what, is really fascinating about this case.
Now, that's that old lady that interfered with the machines
Indictment has been filed. We
and
have
let people into the election office, didn't they?
of the defendants, quite frankly, heading all out in different directions. It really seems like the defendants are sort of painting their own legal strategy and going about it as they please on their own. We have multiple defendants who are trying to move this case to federal court. We have multiple defendants who are trying to sever their case from any other defendant and essentially be tried on their own. And
Never.
we have multiple defendants.
Somebody say your business.
Speedy trial, meaning that they are ready to go to trial right now, and one of them even has a trial date. So big picture.
Trevion Cootie. Like, look at that mugshot. That's one I don't have in my collection. I have many of these. I did not have Trevion Cootie's mugshot, and it is amazing. That might be the best one.
Picture, we have defendants that are doing things all over the map, and quite frankly, a lot of it conflicts with each other. So what we will be looking to see is some sort of first hearing from the judge and really getting an indication on how the judge is.
She was I called her a personal assistant. She was publicist. She was the publicist for Kanye West. This fucking mugshot. Holy shit. He looks downright happy to be there. Might as well be like a prom photo or some shit. To be honest, that's probably the best photo I've seen of her. Not really. not exactly the most appealing person, but that mugshot, that's a banger. She looks evil in almost every picture. Mugshot, she... Okay, that's a cute picture. She still kind of looks a little evil. Yeah, fuck, she looks a little evil in her mugshot too. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna begrudge somebody for being high. So does she look high? I think she just looks like that. I don't know if she's high. She may be high. She may just look like that. She was Kanye West's publicist at one point in time. This whole thing is wild.
a ruling on any one of these defendants, any one motion to go to federal court or to sever the case could be indicative and really change up how this case is going to move forward and how it's going to be tried.
She was doing the Kubrick stare, the chin down, the eyes forward, like it shows that like you're going mad.
It's a really significant potential rulings from the judge coming up on a slew of motions.
All right, we'll track it all with you, Olivia Rubin. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kara.
Hi, everyone. George.
Shut up, George. A court has ruled that the Jack Smith office cannot have complete access to Representative Scott Perry's phone. Investigators have long been fighting to obtain records from Perry, who aided Donald Trump's effort to remain in power after the 2020 election. A federal appeals court panel has partially blocked efforts by special counsel Jack Smith to access the seized cell phone data of Representative Scott Perry, a key figure in Donald Trump's bid to subvert the 2020 presidential election. In a ruling that remains under seal, a 3-judge panel of the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals set aside part of a lower court's decision that would have allowed Smith's prosecutors to access much of the contents they sought from Perry's phone. The FBI seized the device from Perry in August of 2022 under a court-authorized search warrant, but is yet to access relevant documents and communications after Perry moved to prevent it, citing his legal privileges as a federal lawmaker and the authority of Congress to be free of interference from the executive branch. The dispute began before Attorney General Merrick Garland named Smith as a special counsel last November, but appears to have continued on under Smith's auspices after he took over ongoing investigations into interference with the certification of the 2020 election results. Smith's team may seek to review by the full bench of the appeals court or by the Supreme Court, so Tuesday's ruling may not be the final word. A spokesperson for Smith had no immediate comment on the decision or on whether prosecutors would seek further review. Perry's lawyers were in court on Tuesday for another case, the criminal trial of former Trump aide Peter Navarro. That motherfucker, I can't wait to see him locked up. And we're seen pursuing the ruling shortly after it came out. Has everybody seen him like fucking smack the sign and shit of the protester? Though they declined to discuss the details, the lawyers seemed upbeat about the result. That happened like one of the days I was off. The new ruling is a significant milestone for both Perry and the House of Representatives, which raised alarms about prosecutors' efforts to access the phone of a member of Congress. Notably, while the case was argued in February, well, motherfuckers don't do no crime. Don't be criming and they won't be seizing your phone. Isn't that what you say? Like fucking, if you don't have anything to worry about, then why you care if the police are confiscating your phone? Do we need to revisit the NSA now, since privacy is an issue? Notably, while the case was argued in February, it took the appeals court more than 6 months to issue a ruling. That's a surprisingly protracted review period for a matter that appeared to be urgent for prosecutors, and one that suggests the panel engaged in a painstaking review of the records at issue. Though the appeals court 29-page decision remained sealed, the 3-judge panel indicated in the court's docket on Tuesday that it had partially rejected the ruling of U.S. District Court Judge Burl Howell, who granted prosecutors access to most of the files seized from Perry's phone, blocking only a few dozen that she deemed beyond the reach of federal investigators. Burl Howell. You could have a beer with old Burl. I'm in a weird mood tonight. I don't know what the fuck's going on with me. Somebody should fucking slap me. Take the microphone away from me. Justin, did I tell you good evening? Good evening, my friend. Apparently, the case against George Santos might not be as airtight as what we thought it was. Prosecutors have slammed the brakes on George Santos' hearing and revealed that both sides are discussing possible paths forward, or maybe he wants to flip, become state witness. That could also be a thing. Not long after New York Republican Representative George Santos declined to definitively rule out taking a plea deal in his fraud case, federal prosecutors have asked to push back an upcoming hearing and revealed the parties are discussing possible paths forward. George Anthony DeVolder Santos. George Anthony DeVolder Santos. Is that seriously his fucking name? And he just decides which combination he wants to go by at any given time? Does anybody believe this? George Anthony DeVolder Santos, 35, was hit with a 13-count indictment back in May, accusing him of multiple crimes, including fraud, money laundering, stealing public funds, and lying to Congress. The next scheduled hearing in the case was set for Thursday at noon, but prosecutors and Santos jointly want to pump the brakes on that status conference until the morning of October 27th. In the brief filing seeking a continuance, prosecutors in the Eastern District of New York explained that the reasoning behind the request is twofold. First, Santos needs more time to review voluminous discovery material that government has already produced, an additional substantial discovery material that the feds will produce as soon as this week. Second, the feds and the defense have continued to discuss possible paths forward in the matter and wish to have additional time to continue those discussions. The filing from federal prosecutors comes just under 2 weeks after Santos went on Law and Crime founder Dan Abrahams' News Nation show. He said he wouldn't take a plea deal.
You think you're running for re-election?
Yes, I am.
You have any chance? I mean, I've got to believe you've got almost no chance. I mean, am I wrong?
Look, remember Chris Collins, upstate New York? He was reelected under indictment. We've had members of Congress on both sides of the aisle get reelected under indictment because you're you're innocent until proven guilty.
That's true.
So if we don't have that, we're eliminating the due process here by admitting guilt. I'm not guilty of anything until that's proven.
Well, you've admitted that you're responsible for your lies, right? Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying guilty in a court of law.
You know what, Dad? I wish every politician that got caught fibbing would go on national television and get scolded like I did by Tulsi Gabbard. I'd love to see Blumenthal do it. I'd love to see Elizabeth Warren. I'd love to see the President of the United States.
God, he's slick.
40 years lying to the American people, continues to lie to the American people, and doesn't admit to it. It's always, oh, that was a Freudian slip. Oh, that was, oh, well, he misspoke.
But you think it's comparable? Do you think that the kinds of lies you told are
top
comparable?
Of his class in law school, a scholarship. I mean, none of that was real. I mean, hey.
Is this motherfucker going to come through with this? Like, he's got charisma. Like, and he's right. He has gone, like, right on to, like, fucking media interviews and just taking fire. Quesadilla, good evening.
That draws inspiration, man.
To you.
I'm not saying to me, but
because there are a lot of Republicans who are talking about primarying you, right?
That's fine.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. I love it.
But is it why would you love it? I mean, you know.
Well, of course it is. First of all, I've never experienced a primary.
He's into group shit.
Yeah. I've run 2 times uncontested, right? So, secondly, it's a very logical political way. There's the pro-Santos support and there's the anti-Santos support. Right now, as it shows us, in a Republican primary with primary voters, there's more pro-Santos voters by a little than there are anti.
Really?
Yes.
That's according to internal polls?
Yes. So if you look at it that way, and I'll put it this way, I can have as little, with the current field, I can have as little as 30% in coastal re-election, at least on a primary side, and be the general candidate. Why?
Yeah, he's in a blue district.
Anti-Santos vote, right? They're not looking at that. I mean, if they really want to put a challenge, find a vote. But if you...
He's almost certainly going to lose because it's a blue district, and we've talked about what happened in New York. It felt safe, and it didn't turn out the way other states did. This is going to be a presidential election year, so almost certainly that district will flip back to Democrats. And the Democrats might retake the House. They might possibly lose the Senate. That's probably the worst case scenario, is that the Democrats retake the House by 2 or 3 seats. Biden wins re-election, and then the Republicans take the Senate. That's probably the worst case scenario coming out of the 2024 election, I think. And that would suck. That would suck. Democrats take back the House, Biden wins re-election, and then the fucking Senate goes to Republicans. Fucking still shit doesn't get done.
Even look at the slate of we have people who aren't from the state running.
Yeah, we should be through with we should be through with Santos unless, you know, he's becomes a political commentator somewhere, moves to a different district. I don't know what happens. Who knows? The kid's got charisma.
Of dollars of liability against the city of New York because of their actions, and while they were city employees. I mean, we have all sorts of crazy people running against me with terrible records themselves.
And if convicted, would you continue to run?
Like I said, I am very confident that I'm going to be able to fight off the charges.
But if you were convicted, would you continue your...
I don't want to talk about negatives here. Let's keep it positive. So I don't believe that's going to happen.
You are surprisingly upbeat, though. I mean,
that's my personality.
Right? I mean, for considering everything you're facing.
He's winning me over. I kind of like the guy.
I'm a positive person by nature. I'm always there. You know, people come to me. They're feeling down. I make you feel happy. It's just how I am, and it's not fake. It's not an act. Anybody who interacts with me says, "Where does the energy come from?" I'm just I'm a happy guy. I'm always glad to be alive.
Would you consider a guilty play?
No, right now I'm not.
Clinically, I kind of want to punch him and I kind of want to fuck him. Like both, like have you seen him as a drag queen? He's cute. I'm having weird feelings over here. I'm sorry.
Because you'd mentioned that you sort of left the door open a little bit when you talked about it publicly, which made you think,
live in sexual anarchy.
Would he consider a guilty plea that might require him to leave Congress?
Look, I don't know. Like I said,
you would consider it.
I'm not making any assertions right now. Like I said earlier, I'm like, it's right now. The answer is no, but you just never know. You don't know what life's going to come at you. You know, so
you scared of going to prison?
Look, I think anybody would be scared to go to prison, right? That's if you're not, like, come on. But the reality is,
especially right you got a pretty mouth. I'm sorry. He's far more likable than Ted Cruz. Don't insult him like that. Far more likable than Ted Cruz. But there's something about politicians from Texas. Politicians from Texas just seem to be really unlikable. And that's it's a good transition into the impeachment trial of the Attorney General of Texas, one Mr. Ken Paxton, who got indicted 5 years ago. How in the world has this motherfucker been allowed to remain as the Attorney General of the state of Texas?
We turn now to Texas, where an historic trial is now underway. Attorney General Ken Paxton is facing 20 articles of impeachment, including bribery and abuse of office. It's only the third official in the state's history.
Is that his attorney? Oh my God.
History to be impeached. Earlier this hour, the Senate denied a motion to dismiss the charges against him. Paxton, a Republican accused by the Republican-controlled Texas House, has denied any wrongdoing and calls the allegations politically motivated. Joining us now from Texas, state capitol, is NBC's Jane Tim. Jane, good morning. This is really a...
How do you claim political motivation when it's your own fucking party? What in the world?
Unusual. What exactly is Paxton accused of doing?
So Paxton is accused in those 20 articles of impeachment with allegations ranging from corruption, as you said, bribery, abuse of public funds, abuse of public trust, a long laundry list of charges. And it all surrounds his relationship with the donor and developer Nate Paul here in Austin, and how he worked with that individual, sort of helping him to navigate his legal.
I knew I didn't like those Paul brothers. Fuck you, Nate Paul.
and sending the Office of the Attorney General, as the House impeachment managers say, in service of that man. Now, the trial is behind me, as you said, and you're seeing Republicans vote against the Attorney General already. We saw 12 Republicans voting with Democrats on that motion to dismiss at least one article of impeachment. So really some fascinating.
You see Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick presiding over the Senate. Also a slimy bastard.
Stuff.
And Jane, what can we expect from the proceedings? I mean, what's a timeline for this?
So they're saying it could take about 2 to 3 weeks. It's going to look a lot like a civil or a criminal trial. We're going to have witnesses as well as cross-examination, evidence presented by the lawyers. But it's also a very political trial. In a few minutes, actually, we're going to see a lot of witnesses. More than 100 people have been subpoenaed to testify in this trial. They're all appearing en masse to appear in front of these senators who act as the jury and will likely be sworn in. Really a political spectacle as well as in a trial.
Caught me by surprise with the end there. Damn you, MSNBC. I can't wait till we start getting clips out of it. I want to get to testimony and shit. This is going to be awesome. We're going to Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard, where a black store owner had signs put up outside of their store by white supremacists because it's 2023 and we're still dealing with Nazis.
Police in Oak Bluffs are investigating after hateful signs were posted in areas there overnight. Cape and Islands District Attorney Robert Gadboy says his office has been made aware of the signs and they were posted outside black-owned businesses. He says he's also notified all 22 police chiefs in the district.
In the Northeast.
With state police detectives. Anyone with information.
Racism isn't just a problem in the South, I assure you.
Should contact police.
It is a problem. It is a problem in the South, though. Keep it in the Northeast. In Philadelphia, the funniest thing to me every time we did a story out of Philadelphia was the fact that the police commissioner's name was Outlaw. Commissioner Outlaw. A wild name for a police commissioner. But she is no longer the police commissioner. She resigned earlier this morning.
Today, Philadelphia Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw announced she is resigning. Outlaw will be leaving in a few weeks to take a new job in law enforcement. She's faced a number of challenges during her 3.5 years in Philadelphia, from struggles with recruitment to police reform and concerns over officers' mental health. Danielle Outlaw took over as police commissioner in February of 2020, becoming the first black woman to be commissioner of the department. About a month later, Corporal James O'Connor was shot and killed while serving a warrant. He was the first officer killed in the line of duty in 5 years. Shortly after that,
oh, wow, yeah. She became the police commissioner right before the summer of mass protests against the cops.
Pandemic hit, followed by civil unrest in the wake of the killing of George Floyd. Both she and Mayor Kenney received backlash for authorizing the use of tear gas during protests. Less than a year into the job, that following January, Outlaw said she would not resign over her department's handling of the protests. There were more calls for reform and transparency just last month after a police officer shot and killed 17-year-old Eddie Irizarry in Kensington. NBC 10 Sydney Law.
Yeah, we watched that video the other day.
You spoke to anti-violence groups as well as residents about their concerns.
Well, hey, Jackie, good afternoon to you. Indeed, we did. Lots of people from all corners of the city are reacting and reflecting today about Commissioner's Outlaw tenure here in the city. They're also voicing what their hopes are for her replacement, as well as the future of curbing violent crime in a city of brotherly love.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Well, I think she's been doing a good job.
To South Philly.
God bless her for getting the opportunity to get out of the city.
City residents are reacting to news that Philadelphia Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw is resigning.
Honestly, I just think that's kind of how the nature of that business goes.
Nothing but amazing things. Outlaw was the city's first black female commissioner. She's been here 3.5 years. She is leaving Philly to work for the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey in the agency's office of the chief security. This as it streamlines technology and innovative security initiatives.
I wasn't surprised.
Anton Moore is the executive director of Philly's Unity in the Community.
I can't say she did a bad job. That's a tough job. Being police commissioner, I'm a realist, and I understand that. A police commissioner cannot stop a person from shooting a gun.
It comes as Philly's homicide rate is down right now 20% compared to this time last year. The city has seen 295 murders as of yesterday. We had 369 this same time last year.
Nice.
And a total of 516 homicides in 2022.
Police officer.
Outlaw's departure also happens to follow fallout of the department's admitted mishandling of the events leading up to and following a police officer shooting Eddie Irizarry.
Usually when a new mayor is coming in, you know what I mean, old commissioner usually go. I mean, look at Ramsey. He served 8 years under Michael Nutter. Kenny came in. He moved on.
Moore says whoever takes over, there must be teamwork and what he calls a bottom to the top approach.
And when I say the bottom, working with community leaders, working with everyday neighborhoods, of course, gaining trust.
We gotta have a power bottom.
Everyday neighbors to make this work.
Now, Commissioner Danielle Outlaw.
That's right, great value killer Mike.
Police officers this morning at Reedson Park, quote, "Together, we have proven that we are unbreakable and we have endured the most challenging times in the chronicles of policing." My colleague Lauren Meek will have much more on this coming up on both NBC 10 News at 5 and 6 o'clock. For now, reporting live in Center City, I'm Sydney Long, NBC 10 News.
I wanted to hear from the anchor. You want to keep it in Philadelphia? There is a manhunt continuing in Pennsylvania. It is the sixth day. And I'm gonna check here. I'm pretty sure it is still ongoing. They gave a press conference just a couple hours ago, I think.
A manhunt for a dangerous killer is now in its sixth day. NBC's George Solis is in Pennsylvania with the latest.
Pennsylvania State Police, who is the lead agency in this investigation, announcing there have been additional sightings of convicted killer Daniele Cavalcante. One of the latest sightings captured on a private trail camera not far from the initial.
Yeah, he's still on the loose.
The new sightings sparking school closures and that expanded perimeter. Police still saying he is extremely dangerous and are urging residents coming home from the long weekend to check their belongings to see if there's been any disturbance to their home. We also spoke to a homeowner who believes his home may have been burglarized by the convicted killer, saying he was missing some supplies and some tools. Now, officials are saying they're looking into every credible tip that comes.
He is on the run in Pennsylvania. What's his name? Hold on, I'll get you the deets.
Comes in because they believe that they are pushing him out of that initial search zone, and they will be able to capture him as this terrain is slightly more open than where they have been searching. So they're asking residents to have a little resiliency and a little flexibility as perimeters may change and some road closures may be altered. As I mentioned,
a developing story tonight, an inmate who
changing on a day-by-day basis as this search goes on, because officials are saying they are going to continue putting pressure on Daniele Cavalcante, forcing him to make a mistake and get out into the open. They are flooding this area with law enforcement agencies. At last check, there's some 200 agencies from state, local, and federal outlets here just canvassing this area. Any sign of Cavalcante is what they're looking for. And mind you, state police saying that they have been authorized to use deadly force if warranted. And we should also know.
So he escaped from Chester County Prison on August 31st. He was sentenced to life in prison for the fatal stabbing of his former girlfriend.
There is still a $10,000 reward on the table for any information that leads to his capture. That's the latest. Back to you.
Convicted of first-degree murder.
Corpus Juris.
Hell yeah, Legal Eagle. I watch a lot of Legal Eagle, actually. Probably why it autoplayed, right? This is apparently wild video of a murder suspect. This looks to be a Walmart. Yeah, this is a Walmart. This happened in Cleveland. Apparently on August 13th. The video just dropping. A murder suspect running through a Walmart. We're seeing a foot chase through a Walmart. Possible content warning.
HBA.
What do you say?
I hate Walmart. Whoa, shit. I was hoping she'd lead them for a lot longer. It's like a 6-minute video.
Can I get my cousin on, man? Don't move. Don't move.
You did a good job at first.
Female custody. We're in the third department.
He just ran back to the tire section at the dead end.
Stand up. Lean to the right. Lean to the right. Sit up. Stand
I'm glad she made him run. They needed the exercise.
Back here? No, they was in the front by us. She ran back here.
Can I get my cousin's keys?
No.
You guys see Officer Booty?
Yes.
Hey, I got a question.
Hold on.
Anything on you? Yeah, that's why I was asking. What do you got on you? What do you have on you? Nothing. I'm talking about my money. That's what I'm asking.
Don't move.
I don't got nothing. Take your shoe off. I promise I ain't got. Listen.
Where your son at? You here or?
That's what I'm saying. I just want you to get that phone number so you can give it to my son, please. She ain't got nothing.
We gotta go on this.
And I know how
All right, you can put your shoes back on, okay?
Here, I'll get the other side.
Yeah, like that chase was not as eventful as I thought it was gonna be. Kind of let down. I was hoping she's gonna like start knocking shit over. So that was Shanaja Jones. So she faces charges of murder and contempt of court. Okay. She was a murder suspect. Sorry, they can't all be winners. Gotta hit the content warning on this one probably. I think this just happened today or yesterday. Not for the weak at heart, I guess. He's got a bunch of fudge rounds in his hand. Uh-oh, is that what those are? Or are those Girl Scout cookies? This Florida man. This happened in Florida because of course it did. He bought all the fudge rounds and it caused his father to kill him.
Awful story here in Lake Wales. This 16-year-old who by all accounts had a big heart and a bright future is dead now after deputies say his father brutally murdered him. Stephen Rado was staying with his granddad to help him out when investigators say Stephen's father killed him with a power saw. The sheriff calls the man evil and says because of him, a bright light in this community is gone. Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer is in Lake Wales with more.
What kind of power saw? Like a saw or a jigsaw? A table saw? What?
Absolutely horrific situation in a Lake Wales neighborhood, and nearly 12 hours later there are still more questions than answers. Topping the list, why did this father kill his son? Stephen Rado was 16 years old, full of life, and with a full life ahead of him, according to Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd.
He was just a
Fuck this dude. I hate this sheriff.
Sheriff Judd says Stephen was living with his grandfather to help out while his grandmother was in rehab. As for the teenager's father, also named Stephen, the sheriff says he wasn't around much.
His dad had just shown up about a month ago.
Late Monday morning, the grandfather returned to his home on Old Bartow Road in Lake Wales. The elder Stephen was waiting outside.
And his quote was, "I wouldn't go in there if I was you. I killed someone."
Investigators say the person he killed was his son. We're told he used an angle grinder, a type of electrical saw, to do it. Detectives haven't yet determined why.
It breaks our heart. There aren't adequate words to explain how horrific this event is.
But for Sheriff Judd, there are always words to describe people like the suspect, who he says was a career criminal.
Justin! Oh my God! Why did he kill his child? Has the news anchor not been around children? I mean, I just don't have children. That seems a lot easier than having to go through the whole, killing them thing.
I'm about a mile away.
The family has reported that he's psychotic. He's got a history all the way back to high school of using methamphetamine. And you go, well, he might have had a mental health issue. Well, of course he did. People don't murder people unless they're nutso.
The sheriff says it's a crime that left the family broken. And although there aren't many answers so far, investigators say this is what they do know.
We know that he's an evil, evil person. We know that he murdered his son today. And that son was a beautiful 16-year-old person.
And this comes a little more than a week after a mother killed her two children in what the sheriff's office has called an apparent murder-suicide. And Sheriff Grady Judd says in his long career in law enforcement, he can't remember a time when parents killed their children in two separate crimes just 8 days apart. In Polk County, Aaron Mesmer, Fox 13 News.
It's like the summer of the late term abortion. Remember, we did the story of the father that execution styled his kids. Fuck yeah, I watched one of his court appearances the other day as I was washing dishes. 'Cause I'm sick like that. I'm wild. Why do I do shit? Why do I do shit like that? I don't know anything about the Alex Murdaugh. I don't know anything about this. This whole trial was going on, and I actually resisted covering it. But tonight we're gonna find out they've apparently requested a new trial. Some rich fuck murdered his wife or some shit like that. I understand why it's like a tabloid-worthy story, but like didn't pique my interest. Don't think that the murders in Idaho with the criminology student doesn't though. We're gonna totally be all over that. That one's getting ready to heat up.
Fox Carolina. The 6 o'clock news starts now with breaking news.
The attorneys for convicted killer Alec Murdaugh want a new murder trial. Today in Columbia, Dick Harpootlian and Jim Griffin filed
killed one of his kids too. God damn it!
Official of tampering with the jury during Murdaugh's 6-week murder trial earlier this year. Murdaugh was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison for killing his wife and son. Murdaugh's team accuses Carlton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill of trying to sway the jury in favor of a quick guilty verdict for Murdaugh. They say she advised the jury not to believe Murdaugh when he took the stand in his own defense. Now, Hill has not responded to requests for comment today.
And Tor, that's right, she hasn't, but she is at the center of all of these allegations. Both Harpootlian and Griffin claim that while Hill was with jurors in the jury room, she tampered with the jury by advising them not to believe Murdaugh's testimony as he took the stand. The motion also claims the clerk told jurors not to be fooled by Murdaugh. Murdaugh's attorneys say they have sworn affidavits to
don't be fooled by him.
Serious allegations.
Once we had that initial contact with that first juror, we began going around. We had a list and knocking on, literally on Sundays, knocking on jurors' doors, asking them to speak with us. Some of them wouldn't come out. Some of us told us never to come back. But some did, and some talked to us. I'll give you an example. And one of the things we heard was, once the jury went out, even though there were 6 smokers and they were given smoke breaks during the entire trial, once the jury went out, they were told no more smoke breaks. No, you people that want nicotine, you're going to have to get a verdict first. I mean, it's that kind of stuff. Now that indicates something, and the court would be the one to communicate that. Why? So a bunch of
were they sequestered?
Stuff that appeared to be inconsequential, but in the total context indicated to us that what we've put in this petition about the clerk is credible.
Now, a major aspect of the trial was Murdaugh's own testimony and him taking the stand. Jurors would later publicly say that was a huge part of their guilty verdict. Attorney Jim Griffin said his findings now give a different perspective on their decision to let their client take the stand.
I can assure you, when we considered what factors and what we should and should not do and considered whether he should take the stand, we never...
Like he killed her, right? Like for sure.
As reported to us,
they got him dead to rights.
That the clerk of court would go in to the sanctity of the jury room before he testified and tell the jurors, don't be fooled by his testimony, watch out for his body language, and that is what the sworn testimony that we have filed in court today says. And if that is true, which we have every reason to believe that it is.
So he's just got the money to pay lawyers to just throw spaghetti at the wall, basically.
Courts to grant a new trial.
See what sticks.
Now, Murdaugh's attorneys say Attorney General
is that the idiom?
10 days to respond to the motion. Right after their press conference, Wilson responded with a short statement saying, in part, quote, "We are currently reviewing the defense's latest motion and will respond through the legal process at the appropriate time." Now, all of these serious allegations from Murdaugh's attorneys center around the court clerk, and it even involves a book she published right after the verdict. So our very own Zach Proletsky. Now,
whoa, she published a book.
Look back into these allegations, and
fuck her then.
Is now on that book that clerk wrote.
Well, Justin,
who wants to bet she's been on MSNBC to plug it?
Legal analysts say this is one of the worst cases of alleged jury tampering they've ever heard of, and this motion was filed just weeks after that 200-page tell-all book from that clerk about the trial was published. Now, right after the verdict was handed down about 6 months ago, Murdaugh's defense lawyers say they were tipped off to look into what happened in that jury room, but it was only...
Wait, was the verdict that long ago? Because it feels like it was just a couple months ago. Because like her dropping a book seems like wild. You were writing it during the trial or some shit?
Only after that book was published that some jurors would speak with the attorneys. Now, the defense team is alleging that in sworn testimony from members of the jury, Hill allegedly went into the jury room before Murdaugh testified and told them not to be fooled by his testimony and watch his body language. pressured the jury to return a quick guilty verdict and didn't allow smoke breaks for jurors during deliberation, something that was allowed over the 6 weeks of the trial. The attorneys also accuse Hill of creating a fake social media post for one of the jurors to get them removed from the jury because she thought they would bring a not guilty verdict back. Now, back in July, Hill spoke with us here at Fox Carolina about what it was like sitting in that courtroom for the trial every day.
I was told to just treat this as any other normal trial that we had, and that's what I tried to do. Amidst all the cameras that we had in there, it was a lot to deal with, but I think we handled everything pretty good.
Now, since Hill is an elected official, Murdoch's lawyers are requesting a federal investigation into these allegations, and our legal analysts
seriously, fuck her.
These accusations are proven to be
Your
true.
stupid book.
Strong possibility Hill
leave office.
Time in jail. Justin.
And Zach, you mentioned our legal analysts. They are now in studio with us. We heard from them. We asked them some in-depth questions about what they believe. They have used the terms shock.
This dude looks like he's like the Heaven's Gate cult or some shit like that. I'm not into it. It's scaring me. I don't want it no more. I don't want to see him off my screen. I gotta take a pee-pee real fast and refill my coffee. Real quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back. We're gonna talk about Ukraine. I got Burning Man. I got all kinds of shit coming up here. Yeah, the Great Wall of China got damaged. And you don't want to miss the woman that poops while she's getting arrested. Poops while she's getting arrested.
We live in turbulent times. The media is full of deception, conspiracy theories, and fake news. Now, more than ever, it is important to ensure you're getting information from a source that's freaking reliable.
I'm Justin Mullins, and this is the Freakin' News.
Get a breaking or interesting story with a humorous twist in about a minute weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, and more.
Content warning, fuckers. So my goal, we're coming back with the Freak Show on October 13th. This is the return of the Freak Show. Some simp or somebody popped up in the Discord the other day. It was like, hey, when's the Freak Show come back? And I'm like, oh, I totally forgot. I knew. I already had the date set. I just didn't announce it. Oh, it was clinically. I'm sorry. I was giving the wrong person credit. My apologies. Freak Show is back on October 13th with special guest host, the Media Winch. I worked really hard on this last year, this artwork, and then didn't get to use it. So I'm glad to put it to good use this year. That's why I have hair. That's why I have hair in the artwork, because I made it last year. Also, bald boy summer is over. My hair is growing back out. It's after Labor Day. I would like to have somewhat long hair again by the time we get to election season next year. Really like to have long hair again. So, bald boy summer officially over. We're in peach fuzz fall. Battle of Possum. Good evening. No slur. Why are you telling me no slurs? Son, you haven't been here. What did I say earlier tonight that was racist? I've been pulling a racism so many times. Last night I was making fun of some native sounding town. Native sounding. It was native. It was like that's where the name of the town came from. Tell me no slurs. Oh, that's what it told you when you no slurs. Oh. Does that apply to me? Do I have to follow that rule? I mean, like most slurs are okay, I think. That's what we were discussing bean eaters earlier. We like to call Warlord a bean eater, but is that racist? Feels kind of racist. I feel like you're here to have a little smoky smoke with me. So we should smoky smoke before we go back to the news. We're gonna talk about Ukraine. Anything can be a slur if you say it right. Right. Get some modern warfare going on here. That was all. You must have been listening to Jimmy Cornette. That was a whole discussion on Jimmy Cornette. Ukraine's defense minister has resigned following Zelensky's announcement of his replacement. That's what I thought clinically, but I feel like it's kind of an older slur. It was like people used to say it back in the 90s, and it's not as prevalent anymore. And why would you, beans are good, first of all. Bean eater, we were calling, because we make fun of Warlord for fucking eating beans for breakfast. Fucking, I asked him what he was, here, hold on. I've even got it clipped over here. No, Travion Kunti. I want my Warlord. I want to know where the name or the meme of British food bad come from. What did you have for dinner tonight? Boom! Potatoes with beans on them. What the fuck? Who does that? And I like beans. I'll put some beans in chili. I'll put some beans in a lot of things. I fucking had refried beans with my tacos the other day. Fucking beans are excellent. But who does that with beans? Cheesy baked potatoes served with baked beans. DJ Dub's all about it. Try it out and see what you think. I'm not about the cheesy potato with the bean flavor. That's not appealing to me. Maybe if it was some taco meat and that I don't know whether I'm scared or turned on. I'm still struggling with this one. That's another thing is using beans as a derogatory term. Using potato as a derogatory term. Fucking I love fucking potatoes. Okay, how's watermelon a derogatory fucking thing? Oh, you eat watermelon. Fucking A, you eat watermelon. Watermelon's fucking awesome. She looks like she's getting ready to chow down on some watermelon. That's why she's smiling. She sees some fucking watermelon off camera right now. She's like, I'm getting ready to eat that watermelon. God damn, that's racist. But is it though? Because watermelon's fucking awesome. There's a beanie. Well, this looks like a British dude. The beanie. It's from Rome. I'm sorry, he's Italian. There's Italian beans over here. I don't understand art. It's a good painting. I like the detail and everything on it. I think it's a good painting. But like, what makes a good painting? The implication of eating beans? What's the implication? The Atlanta Braves were once called the Bean Eaters. Now we're going down a rabbit hole. Why were they called the Bean Eaters? In 1907, the Bean Eaters temporarily eliminated the last bit of red from their stockings because their manager thought the red dye could cause wounds to become infected. What in the... They're the Boston Bean Eaters. And before they moved to Atlanta. Talking about beans, Jesse. God damn it. Get with the program. We were making sunny jokes earlier because we had like Philadelphia stories going on. You're late to the party. Or maybe that's just that delay on you. Oh, you're not on YouTube. I finally got him to watch Sunny in Philadelphia after fucking years. Now he understands like all the memes and the lines and shit. We're getting there. He's still in the earlier seasons. We need to be getting to find out what that news be doing. The Ukrainian defense minister Oleksiy Reznikov submitted a letter of resignation on Monday after President Volodymyr Zelensky said he would be replaced and named his successor. Oleksiy Reznikov removal follows a scandal around the defense ministry's procurement of military jackets. It was not the first similar case during the ongoing war. Zelensky made the announcement on his official Telegram account. That's suspicious to me. Telegram? What? Isn't that where the Nazis are? Writing that new leadership was needed after Reznikov went through more than 550 days of full-scale war. He named Rustam Umarov, a Crimean Tatar lawmaker. Is that Crimean Tatar? Is that kind of like steak Tatar? As the new defense minister, Reznikov was a good and prominent international negotiator, but it appears that there is chaos and disorder within the Ministry of Defense, which many deputies have taken advantage of, resulting in corruption scandals during the war. All actions of the Ukrainian authorities... Goddamn, there's a lot of Nazis on X, you're right. Authorities are geared towards the interest of the war, and scandals and statements about Ukraine's slow counteroffensive in the face of very limited military resources compel Zelensky to be flexible and seek new personnel solutions. Reznikov was appointed in November 2021, several months before Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In his resignation letter, Reznikov pointed out that it had been not an easy journey from his appointment until today, but that he had been part of the process of persuading international donors to give Ukraine sophisticated weaponry, from the categorical refusal to provide Ukraine with Stingers in November of 2021 to the creation of an aviation coalition. Umarov, 41, a politician with the opposition Holos Party, has served as head of the State Property Fund of Ukraine since September of 2022. He resigned from that position on Monday, according to Verkhovna Rada, Ukraine's parliament. Fucked that up. There's some funny business going on in Ukraine. I don't know what to make of any of this shit. I don't know enough about any of it to give you an informed opinion. But Ukraine arrested the oligarch who owns the TV station that aired Vladimir Zelensky's show before he became president. Huh. Well, that's a coinky dink, isn't it? Ukraine has detained Ihor Kolominsky, a prominent oligarch, as part of an anti-corruption drive. Kolominsky owns the TV station that showed Vladimir Zelensky's Servant of the People. Corruption is most Ukrainians' biggest concern after the war with Russia, a survey found. Ukraine has detained one of its most prominent billionaires, which, I mean, arresting a billionaire is not a bad thing on its face. So I'm kind of withholding judgment. Dude's a billionaire, probably deserves to be arrested. He didn't become a billionaire by being ethical. Ukraine has detained one of its most prominent billionaires whose relationship with President Vladimir Zelensky has previously raised eyebrows. The country's security service said on its Telegram channel that oligarch Ihor Kolominsky would be held in custody for 2 months on fraud and money laundering charges. It was established that during 2013 to 2020, Ihor Kolominsky legalized more than $500 million hryvnias, or $14 million, by withdrawing them from abroad and using the infrastructure of banks under control, the agency said. Pictures shared alongside the statement show Kolominsky, who Forbes estimates is worth $1 billion, being served with notices at his home by Ukrainian officers. The charges kind of sound bullshit. Also, he's a billionaire, so he deserves to be locked up. He kind of looks like George Lucas. Zelensky said in his nightly TV address on Sunday, it would not be business as usual for those who plundered Ukraine and put themselves above the law. Each of us feels that this will be a Ukraine with different rules. Outlets including BBC News reported Zelensky was elected to the presidency in 2019 on an anti-corruption platform intended to address an endemic problem in Ukraine, but had also previously, before the war, been accused of corruption and had a failing administration. But once again, I also don't know a lot about what the fuck is going on in Ukraine. So I don't pretend to know. I read you the news, the headlines I find interesting. Keep it in context. That was from Business Insider, usually a liberal outlet. Now we're going to the Wall Street Journal, where Ukraine has released video of a Russian pilot who defected from Russia. This is a Russian pilot who defected from Russia, so this is Ukrainian propaganda. Footage released by Ukraine's military intelligence agency showed a Russian helicopter pilot. The operation had been planned for months with Ukraine's military intelligence agency known as HUR. The pilot, Captain Maxim Kurzmanov, told reporters he had discussed the plan with HUR representatives in encrypted chat on Telegram. Kurzmanov said he flew his Mi-8 helicopter low over fields with the transponder on evade. He also said his parents are with him in Ukraine without giving further details. The first defection of a Russian pilot reported since Moscow launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. 2 other crew members on board had not been briefed on the plan and panicked, according to Kurzmanov. Ukrainian officials said they were killed as they attempted to flee. That ain't cool. What the fuck? These motherfuckers didn't know what was going on. They landed in Ukraine. They fucking freaked the fuck out and tried to run away from the Ukrainian soldiers. And the Ukrainians shot them. Fuck me. Kuzmanov said Ukraine had guaranteed him safety, new documents, and compensation. Moscow has not commented on Kuzmanov's capture. Meanwhile, a Russian general was almost blown up in a bomb plot. Get this. Russian general blasted in the face by bomb-rigged cell phone in a failed assassination plot. The Russian general was seriously injured by an exploding cell phone used in a failed assassination attempt by Ukraine Security Service. Major General Yuri Afanasevsky, a former chairman of the State Customs Committee of the so-called Luhansk People's Republic, controlled by Moscow-backed separatists, was blown up at his home in an occupied region on Sunday. He had been handed a bomb-rigged cell phone that detonated as soon as it was activated, according to Russia's investigative committee. Afanasevsky was rushed to the hospital with serious shrapnel wounds to his head, neck, and stomach, according to Ukraine Security Services. The general's 21-year-old son was also injured and had to have 3 fingers amputated. This is a picture of Afanasevsky. Luhansk officials downplayed the severity of Afanasevsky's injuries, telling TASS that he is alive and well. Sources told the outlets it was an assassination attempt orchestrated by Ukraine's Secret Service. Russia's investigative committee said a woman had been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after allegedly handing Afanasevsky the explosive-laden cell phone. I do not believe we have an afterpick. Female suspect has already confessed to her role in the failed assassination plot, allegedly masterminded by Ukraine's intelligence operatives. Afanasevsky served in Russia's much-feared Federal Service, the successor to the KGB, and allegedly acted as a financier to Leonid Pezhesnik, the head of the Luhansk People's Republic. The FSB general was said to have laundered money to bankroll pro-Russian paramilitary groups that fought against Kiev's forces. I think I did a damn good job of reading that. Yay me. Honestly, I think I wasn't far off on the name of the Luhansk. Let me look at it again. I'll try another. Afanasevsky. Thank you, Dustin. I think I probably wasn't far off on the pronunciation of his name. See, I can get white people shit right. Cancel Justin. Hey, they stole it from law-abiding citizen, eh? Well, here's the... Okay, so... Apparently, Business Insider got a hold of this spy, and they're saying that, like, Ukraine's assassination squads are going way too far. Even an ex-spy is concerned Ukraine's assassination squads are going too far. But, I mean... If you invaded their country... So I don't know if their assassination attempts are really going too far. I don't know. Like it seems like it's fair. I don't know. I'm no expert on this shit. Ex-spy Valentin Nalyvashenko said even he's concerned Ukraine's assassinations are going too far. Who the fuck is he to say that? He told The Economist Ukraine's the security services shouldn't do things just because they can. Since the beginning... I mean, I guess, yeah, sure. You should just because you spent too much time thinking if you could, but you didn't think of if you should. I fucked it up. I'm sorry. Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, dozens of Russian officials and conspirators have been assassinated both in occupied Ukrainian territory and Russia. But now, even a Ukrainian ex-spy is concerned the country's assassination squads are going too far. Valentin Nalyvashenko, the former head of the security service of Ukraine and current parliament member, told The Economist that recent missions have been quite risky for Ukrainian intelligence, in some cases lacking strategy or endangering agents and their sources. Our security services shouldn't do things just because they can, Nalyvashenko said, adding that while some assassinations have been justified, others have given pause. That's the first thing that came to my mind was like, tell that to the people over in the CIA. You shouldn't do shit just because you can. That's like U.S. fucking history. You shouldn't do shit just because you can. His comments echoed concerns from other Ukrainian officials, with one anonymous source inside SBU counterintelligence telling The Economist that targeting mid-level propagandists or relatively small fish in Russia's larger information and political systems was sometimes meant to impress the president rather than achieve victory in the war. Clowns, prostitutes, and jokers are a constant around the Russian government, the source told the outlet. Kill one of them and another will appear in their place. Well, I kind of agree with that. Leave the clowns, prostitutes, and jokers alone. I don't think I like this Zelensky cat, to be honest with you. It's taken me a while to come to this conclusion. And I've kind of said it all along that, our history of backing these presidents, these countries that come to power on these popular movements and then ride nationalistic sentiment during war. Like, if you know history, it's not really ever gone well for us. Fair enough, clinically. I didn't even he's sus because the U.S. government likes him. Yeah. But also, I was wrong, right? So, All along, I thought the State Department was blown. Like I don't know how many people were here with me during that time. I thought the State Department was blowing smoke up our asses, and Russia wasn't actually going to invade Ukraine. I was wrong about that. Russia has imperialistic instincts. They want to act on it, and that's not good. Fuck them for doing that. Fuck the Russian state. But I just don't like the way we're going about doing things. If I shake her hand, it will be the same if I spit in the face of my relatives. If I shake her hand, it will be the same if I spit in the face of my relatives. This is Ukraine-born Marina Zenoveska. Apparently snubbed Ariana Sabalenka at the U.S. Open. So, this is Mariana Zenoveska. And Ariana Sabalenka looks absolutely delightful. And she's giving a heart. And oh, I mean, I understand, they invaded your country. It's a thing, yeah. Ukraine-born Mariana Zabavinska has opened up about why she chose to not shake hands with... Oh, she's not even Russian. She's Belarusian. Ariana Sabalenka. Well, I also don't know the conflict in the region as well. Zenoveska was born in Odessa, Ukraine, but played the final 7 years of her career representing Belgium. She changed her national allegiance in 2016, having announced that the 2023 U.S. Open would be the last tournament of her career. Zenoveska was sent into retirement by Zabalenka, courtesy a 6-3, 6-2 defeat in the first round of the tournament. Despite the significance of the occasion, Zenoveska ended her career with no handshake at the net due to Sabalenka's Belarusian nationality. While the 30-year-old's actions were condemned by several tennis fans, she stood by her decision and explained her stance in a subsequent interview. Zenoveska said that her actions were in solidarity with her native country, as well as her relatives back home amid the Russian-Ukraine war. I know I'm representing Belgium, but all my family are in Ukraine. If I shake her hand, it will be the same if I spat in the face of my relatives. The Belgian, however, praised Sabalenka and said that she understood her position. She also said she respects the Australian Open champion as a tennis player. See, the Belarusian was the bigger person. I respect Ariana as a tennis player. She's a champion. Not shaking hands is my personal decision. I don't judge her. She defends her family, and I defend mine. I would like to have seen the snub. Perhaps I can get video. Possible. The highlights, are we gonna see the end of it? Let's watch some tennis highlights over here. I don't think we've ever done this on the Troll Patrol.
Involved in Australia last year.
That's what I came for. Got to see the highlights of the match, though. What a weird show this has been. You know what else is weird? Somebody damaged the Great Wall of China. Goddamn Mongolians.
Happening right now in the following reports that the Great Wall of China has been severely damaged here after 2 construction workers used an excavator for a shortcut for work nearby. They dug a large gap to allow their excavator through there. The 2 suspects, a 38-year-old man and a 55-year-old woman, were detained. Police say they caused irreversible damage to the wall. Now, in recent years, some parts of the wall have been demolished.
I'm not seeing any wall. Where the fuck was the wall at? I mean, like, fucking, it looked like dirt to me.
After 2 construction workers used an excavator for a shortcut for work nearby. They dug a large gap to allow their excavator through there. The 2 suspects, a 38-year-old man and a 55-year-old woman, were detained. Police say they caused irreversible damage to the wall. Now, in recent years, some parts of the wall have been demolished, and this has led to the Chinese government stepping up efforts to preserve and protect the wall.
Yeah, no, I am aware that, like, not all of the wall is like the stone that you see in pictures. Because it is a fucking long ass wall. We don't need no education. Oh, wrong wall. I didn't even know who this motherfucker was until like a couple of weeks ago. And he keeps popping up. Apparently he got into a scuffle with a pizza place owner. And I want to see what happened. So, Barstool's Dave Portnoy, who I thought was the drummer for fucking Dream Theater. Apparently he's just a dick that eats pizza. He gets into it with a Massachusetts pizza shop owner in a major argument over a pizza review. Here's the video. There we go. This is apparently in Somerville, Massachusetts. Apparently the worst pizza place in America.
All right, pizza review time. Davis Square. What's that say? Dragon? That was it. Dragon Pizza. Looked phenomenal in the case. Now I don't know if we're a little late because I was changing my shirt, so the video looked different. I went to this like vintage Buffalo Exchange across the street. I
don't care. Tell me about pizza.
I picked this out, kind of vibing, like, right? $13, great purchase. Like, I would be buying this anyway.
Hey, you look like a dick.
Or the old school Canby shirt. So I kind of bought both. I can't make decisions. Anyways, if you're into vintage shit, good shit. Anyways, the pizza looked phenomenal. I don't know how long it was sitting there. It looked, I'm gonna be honest, it looked better in the case. It looked more well done in the case than this one. So we'll see what we got. One bite, everyone knows the rules. It is very thin. I don't know if we fucked them, Austin, because this thing's a super floppy. And you said this had 50 reviews?
I'm into that kind of shit.
Right? That's on the One Bite app. One Bite app rarely is off. I do smell the Parmesan. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's a floppy mess.
Oh, I'm hungry now.
Strong Parmesan. Like the Parmesan is, come on.
Good. I like Parm.
People, it's the neck of the woods. What's going on there?
Parm is awesome.
Really holding up traffic. People don't want to go.
Can you tell me this motherfucker doesn't like Parmesan?
Strong Parmesan. This is an acquired taste. Like if you get this, know you're gonna get hit with a left, right in the face with Parmesan. I'm not the biggest Parm guy. Wow. I just don't love Parm, so I'm gonna go. How do you score that? Because if you like Parm, fine. If you don't, I don't. 6-4. Yeah, I know
it's a fucking pizza.
Yeah. What's good, man? What's going on?
Nice to welcome to Boston, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have I been where?
Somerville.
God, I hope this owner beats his ass.
We're currently in. Yeah, I spent years here.
Oh, you don't like Parmesan, but you go like, oh, you like fucking Domino's.
Okay.
I actually used to work at Dragon.
Fucking Papa John's and shit, don't you?
I feel like you saw me and you were like plotting your move, how you're gonna come up. So what does Dom of the Year mean?
Yeah, so Dom, my name is Dom.
Yep.
Man of the Year. So
he's the man of the year.
Yeah,
Like a vintage, like Dom Perignon? No, unrelated. Right, but when you're like Dom of the Year, every year like a vintage.
Bored with this. I want to see the owner.
It looked better in the
judging a business.
Yes, that's what I want.
Enjoy your pizza as any customer, but I don't appreciate what you do coming in and judging a business with one bite.
Well, we do more. Is this your spot?
This is my spot.
Oh.
I hope you enjoy your pizza, but I don't appreciate what you do to small businesses.
Well, I help. The good news is I
don't
give
see
you
it that way.
a terrible school. That guy. Well, Dom of the Year, can I ask you?
Yeah.
What was his problem?
I'm actually. You just look like a dick.
This bit now I can say peacefully, this pizza's trash.
I did say I used to work here.
Dragon pizza's so good.
Try it.
See?
Tell me it's good.
I've tried it before. It's good, and they have really good gelato and stuff. I'll try it. I just
It's fair.
I'm like one of your biggest fans.
She's like, I'm so fucking hungry.
Honest score here.
Honest score. We're literally What do you think?
I thought it was bad. It was too parmy and floppy.
It does parmy.
Yeah.
It is parmy.
Thank God I didn't say it was good.
Parm is awesome.
I actually gave this, no joke. I try to give everybody good scores. I gave this
I
maybe the worst score I've given in a long time. And the owner,
I ate a bowl of parm just by itself last night.
I don't like
It's gotta
parm.
be crispy.
Has to be crispy.
Let me be a little clearer. Move on. Don't stand in front of my business.
Let me be clear. Fuck
Let
you.
me be clear.
Fuck
Get
you.
the fuck out of
Fuck
front of my
you.
business.
Fuck you.
Dumb
It's
as
a
the year.
public
Your whole
street, you
fucking
motherfucker.
Yeah, but
it's
this
a
is my
public
business.
street.
You
This
can-
ain't your business.
Yeah, but this is my business. And you can, if you
Fuck
stay
you.
here, I'm calling the
Fuck
fucking
you.
police.
He's right across the street. Go get him. What are you gonna tattle me on for standing on a public street?
Just being a fucking
Your,
bitch.
your shirt's 6.
He is being a bitch.
So.
Just go fuck yourself and the whole fucking platform you're on.
Oh, you don't like the platform?
You're a joke to me, dude.
You know what? You're
Take
making
your
a
fucking
joke.
show and your fucking game and go somewhere else.
Blah, blah, blah. By the
guess
way,
what?
I've raised $50 million for small business.
You're all talk, dude.
$50
You're all
million?
talk.
Was that all talk?
Yeah, kind of like that New York Times article.
Here we
breaking down.
go. Here
Exactly.
we go. Your
Exactly.
shirt's 6 sizes too small.
I don't care. I
Lose
work
some
hard.
weight.
You're a fucking joke.
You work hard?
Yeah, maybe. Like,
My man.
you're so full of shit, dude.
How?
He is full of shit.
Fucking clown.
How?
I run a business. I work hard.
I sold my
provide jobs.
business twice. 100 million, 400 million, bought back for $1. That's a clown?
Everything since I got
Yeah,
it,
you're a clown.
100% is an embarrassment.
Like
to this
what?
business.
Like raising 50 million for small business?
Everything.
Name
Everything.
it. Name it.
Everything.
You haven't
Don't
named
play
one
your
thing.
game.
You haven't named one thing.
I make pizza. It's great.
It sucks,
You're
actually.
a fucking joke.
Name one thing. Name one thing, asshole.
You've given up too. I've given up too much of my time.
All you've said is everything. Name one thing.
You're a fucking
Name
joke.
one
to me.
thing. Clown.
I love $1 million worth of game.
The best.
I wish he gets back. I would love to see him get punched.
Like mid-convo.
It's great people.
This guy ain't great. You work for that clown?
I'm glad they went in and got pizza.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's the way you do it. Go record him.
I am. I'm minding my own business doing a review.
This is me posting you, telling you to.
Oh, you're posting.
Clout chase off of Dave Portnoy. Do it, man. That's how you turn that shit around.
Love your shit.
Can I get in touch with
Yes, let's do it.
I love soba. Oh my god, I've never met anyone. Okay, my boyfriend's gonna.
Joey, good evening.
Even though I feel like I'm a bigger fan.
She's still eating the pizza.
Good job standing up for yourself.
Standing up. That guy's a clown. Thank God it says.
Yeah, he's bullying a fucking small business owner. He didn't stand up for himself.
I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Becca.
Hi, how are you?
First of all, I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
And he was making fun of him for his shirt being too small. His shirt's too small.
I didn't want to get involved in that. I've personally met a man, his name is Dan from Park Lunch in Newburyport, whose business you saved.
This guy's a
Which
yeah,
is what I
yeah,
actually
know,
was
it's
just
like-
coming over to say,
yeah,
like, your
I
business
appreciate it.
itself is amazing, but what you do for businesses is just incomparable, and I wasn't about to step in the middle of it. I'm representing
Is this some kind of plant?
I wanted to. I don't know how I represent my own company right now. I didn't want to be thrown in the line of F-bombs on the side of the street.
That's
but
fair.
What you do for businesses.
Go fuck yourself. I'm gonna visit Dragon Pizza if I ever get the chance. Let me show you some rich assholes getting their comeuppance. Dave Portnoy didn't get what he deserved in that one. These motherfuckers got what they deserve, though.
At Burning Man's Black Rock City, days trapped in messy sludge have now turned to hours stuck in gridlock traffic.
It was a great burn until it rained.
Tonight, the slow crawl out of the remote desert festival stretching for miles. Tens of thousands still trying to get out.
This is where festival goers finally reach a paved road, but getting here is a lesson in patience. For some, the 6-mile trip out taking as long as 9 hours.
And now questions are mounting over the chaotic mess left behind. The Pershing County Sheriff slamming the conduct of festival goers, telling the San Francisco Chronicle some abandoned their property and vehicles, leaving trash across several miles as they scrambled to escape the storm.
There have been people that have left things. I think a lot of people had a very fear-based reaction.
Organizers have not responded to NBC's request for comment about the aftermath, but veteran festival goers like Terry Galt, who's staying behind to clean up, are frustrated.
We know that people abandon their camps, so it's not surprising to hear that there was trash left behind.
What's your message to people who leave things behind?
Well, one of the 10 principles is leave no trace. So for those people who left trash behind, those aren't real burners. They probably shouldn't be out here anyway.
This all comes as authorities continue to investigate.
He doesn't like what his festival's turned into.
Authorities say there's no indication it was weather related, but that conditions may have slowed their response. While most today are going out by car, some finding ways to avoid the congestion.
With the bike was just 30 minutes.
Tonight, with half the festival still inside, the famous Burning Man is gone, but a massive cleanup effort still lies ahead. Liz Kreutz, NBC News, Black Rock Desert.
Good job, Lester. Nobody asked you a goddamn thing. This is not a recent story. Usually I focus on shit that happened recently, but like I came across this video and we gotta watch it. We have to watch it. It showed up in my YouTube recommendations just because the shit that I watch on YouTube, right? The title is Woman Poops While Getting Arrested.
I'm calling the police on you. Where'd you from? What's your badge? What's your number? Write it down. Write it down.
Pushing me, so I put her in cuffs, brought her out here, and she crapped herself and laid down. So you're gonna end up getting in that crap.
I want not my crap, it's your crap.
Okay.
Not my crap, it's your crap. First of all, I'm totally on the woman's side, by the way. Make their lives as difficult as possible, ma'am.
Ma'am, you're going to be arrested. I'm trying to help you out here. You're going to be arrested.
For what?
I'm going to be arrested?
I'm going to go to the police. Are you? Go to the police.
Do you?
What's she doing?
No.
Do you want her in here?
I want you to go to Summit County.
She doesn't want you in here. Leave right now.
You gotta go.
You're trespassing.
Sorry. Can I use your phone?
No. We don't have a public phone. I'm going to give you an opportunity to leave, and you can walk away, or I'm going to arrest you.
You already arrested my family, and you're under charge for.
I have no idea who your family are. I have no idea who you are.
You don't know me either. Why would you got to me?
Are you going to leave? Yes or no?
I want his phone number to the police. I'm calling the police on you. Where'd you from? What's your badge? What's your number? Write it down.
Oh, she pushed him.
I'm under arrest.
Just put your hands on me. Assault.
Oh, now they're gonna charge her with assaulting an officer.
Shouldn't that?
Call my fucking PO. You're not arrested.
Ma'am?
And honestly, because she shit on him,
Under arrest, and I'm trying to be nice.
You're about
like that's probably an extra charge too.
Give me a fucking prosecutor. No, look at my back. Motherfucker. Man, did you get my bag?
14 and ready on.
Man.
Shit, I'm taking her into custody.
Fuck you, don't touch my shit.
Thought it was a hazardous material or some shit like that.
Quit throwing me around.
Yeah, I'm taking custody.
No, stop. Stop. Oh, he's arrested me what?
Copy. Any of you can bring some dogs over with him.
This is more sad than fun. I'm sorry.
Stop. You please are you arrested?
Ma'am?
Oh, you arrested already?
Ma'am, listen.
41 or 20. Either of you.
We're just now getting to the shit. I promise you the next story is amazing.
Send a squad up here. This may be a mental condition.
Fuck you indeed. Fuck you pigs.
Ma'am?
Stop pulling on.
Okay, I'm gonna have a squad check you out, okay?
You're going to jail, bitch. You're going to jail, bitch.
I wish he was.
Yeah, bitch.
Okay.
I like your sassy mouth.
Okay.
My God.
You're what?
You're about to go to jail, bitch.
Okay.
Get me up.
No, you're gonna stay here.
No, you're not pushing me down.
63 radio.
Oh, you're not pushing me down.
I'm not pushing you down, but you're gonna stay here.
Alright, that tow truck that was supposed to be here half an hour ago just called and said it's gonna be another hour.
Yeah, I can't take it.
To a residence.
The poop's not worth it. But I promise you this story is worth it. This is going to be one of the most amazing stories I've ever relayed to you guys here on the Troll Patrol. It's about a dog. It's about a dog who ran away and went to a Metallica concert.
My producer and my editor both say this is their favorite story of the year so far. You may have seen on social media a post about a dog that was allegedly abandoned at the Metallica concert at SoFi last weekend. Well, as usual, there is more to the story. This German Shepherd wasn't abandoned, she just likes rock. After a few days of outrage over some dog owner leaving their pup at SoFi, Metallica posted this today saying, despite reports to the contrary, our friend Storm snuck out of her home adjacent to SoFi Stadium and made her way to the gig all by herself. After a full night taking in the show with her Metallica family, Storm was safely reunited with her actual family the next day. Metallica also posted, you definitely shouldn't bring your furry friends to the hashtag M72 World Tour, but this dog sure did have her day. And who knows, maybe she's a Beyonce fan and is going to head over again. This is their favorite story of the year so far. You may have seen on social media a post about a dog that was allegedly abandoned at the Metallica concert at SoFi last weekend. Well, as usual, there is more to the story. This German Shepherd wasn't abandoned, she just likes rock. After a few days of outrage over some dog owner leaving their pup at SoFi, Metallica posted this today saying, despite reports to the contrary, our friend Storm snuck out of her home adjacent to SoFi Stadium and made her way to the gig all by herself. After a full night...
Hold on. She had a great time listening to her favorite songs, including Barks Eterna, Master of Puppies, and The Mailman That Never Comes. Yeah, fuck Metallica. I'm still pissed about Napster. Lars is a bitch. She's sitting there. She's sitting in the seat watching the show. she seems to be enjoying it. Seriously, don't sue your fans. That's the worst thing you can do. Except unless you're Metallica. Like, they were already fucking filthy rich. Fuck them, though. Fuck them. Barks Eterna, Master of Puppies, The mailman that never comes. She's just sitting there enjoying the show. Went and just sat in a seat. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night.